Still,
it might just be because
really
he
good
doesn't have
drone
much space in there.
saturation. That is true, but
Yeah,
I still think it's viable. I guess the bridges aren't where you want, but usually you see at least 3 hatcheries in one concentrated spot. I mean, I guess if he didn't like the bridges or the way the base was set up, I would have thought he'd put him in his third base, but I don't know. So a little bit different there. Lots of spread out hydralisks. He's Hyuk is content. He has the advantage here, and I guess he's just playing defense here, trying to catch Cal's Reaver Sayer off guard.
No, I mean, at this point, Hyuk doesn't need to do anything. The pressure is all on Cal. Hyuk's fine sitting at 4 bases versus 2, just sitting there teching and getting his upgrades. This is perfectly acceptable to him. The pressure is all on Cal now. Cal has to do something. He has to either do some damage or he has to get his third base up. Preferably both. Preferably what he's going to want to do is, okay, he looks like he's going to move out for a Speed Zealot Reaver, Shuttle Reaver attack. This is kind of a Bisu-ish of attack here. I don't know if he's going to be able to do a lot. Hyuk has a lot of Hydralisks built up, and he's on 6 hatcheries. So he's going to be able to, that's a lot of Hydralisks. It looks like almost a repeat of what happened last game in terms of just Cal cannot keep up with that level of Hydralisk production with this build. He's going to have to kind of go for a third base here, because there's no way that he's going to be able to do any damage to that massive army of Hydralisks.
I agree.
Yeah, just great macro here from Hyuk. I mean, he's just been producing so many Hydralisks, but I think, wow, Cal actually sneaking in 2 Zealots. I can't imagine he's trying to do any economic damage. I think he wanted to see Hyuk's level of tech here. If he's putting down that Queen's Nest, going for Hive. And it looks like now Cal is spreading his tech tree a little bit more. There looks like a total of 3 Reavers, a couple High Templars, which would I assume have Storm, and also a Dark Templar, although he's not using it for any sort of harassment. And as I say it, there it goes. So Cal still hasn't taken a third base here. He's really content on sitting on this massive unit. And I think it may be that he's not comfortable taking a third base at this point. Hyuk just 6 hatcheries, huge macro. I mean, look at that huge purple line moving out. I mean, that's just a massive army. At least Cal's going to be able to use that Dark Templar for scouting, but Hyuk does have Overlord speed, although most of his Overlords are concentrated in that area. But at this point, I think it's almost too late. I couldn't see Cal taking a third base. I mean, look at his army. He's got some storms. He's really going to need to put out some excellent storms if he's going to be able to take out a third base here.
Yeah, that's what he's got to do. I mean, now that he has Storm, Storm is really strong against pure Hydralisk. So it all depends on his might. Oh, looks like he's going to sneak a DT here. There's no Overlords at that base. So he's going to do some damage with this DT here. Nice move by Cal. I'm surprised that Hyuk didn't expect that. He's going to 4 drones. He's going to get 5th drone, 6 drones. So this is actually pretty good. One of the best ways to beat a hard macroing Zerg is to hurt his drone count. Okay, looks like he's going for that. He's got a good surround with the Hydralisks here. Great storms by Cal. This is exactly what he needed to do, but he's just got so many Hydralisks coming up against him in the flank. This looks like Cal is in a lot of trouble. I mean, he just got his whole army slaughtered. Way too many Hydralisks being produced by Hyuk, and it's almost a repeat of the first game. I mean, this build that Cal is doing is just really weak to a pure Hydra macro. Cal is going to be able to hold on to his natural here, I think, if he has another storm, but he's just so far behind in the game at this point. He has no control at all. Okay, he's going to lose a natural again, and this is pretty much GG. There's no way Cal is coming back from this. I mean, pretty much just watched the same game twice in the same set. I don't know what Cal is doing with that build. I mean, with that build, you just give up so much map control to the Zerg that it's totally not worth it. I mean, I really just don't know what he's thinking.
Yeah, I don't know if I necessarily agree with this Sayer Reaver and then into ground forces, but really heavy ground forces. It's not just speed zealots. Like at the beginning we saw he had about a control group of zealots, and then he transitioned right into Storm and Dark Templars, and he just didn't get his expansion down. And Cal's really out of this game. He lost the group 0-2 to 2 Zergs, which would be his strongest matchup. So I don't know if this almost new age ZVP build is really hurting Cal, or if he was maybe trying something new here with this build. I don't watch too much of Cal's PvZ, so I'm not exactly familiar, but I usually see him focus a lot more on a ground army. I don't recall Cal going Sayer Reaver that much, actually.
Well, this is actually a fairly common PvZ build at the pro level. Not exactly like this, but especially Bisu has been doing this a lot. Not really lately, but over the past few months, this has been a pretty common PvZ build. But at the same time, Zergs have been playing in a different way. This build has been working against Zergs who are going for a faster tech and not going for this kind of mid-game Hydra map control. And as we can see, I mean, this mid-game Hydra map control sort of play style with the heavy macro just completely counters this build, and Cal was not adapting to it. I mean, really, we don't even have to talk about what's going on in the game at this point because it's just so incredibly over. Like, Cal could not keep up with the Hydra production off of 2 bases. There's no way he's doing it with just his main. He does have 9 gateways. And again, this time, I mean, the game played out, everything came out later, but still, okay, GG from Cal finally. But still, we noticed like Cal has so many gateways, and he moved out before he actually got a big army out. He really only had maybe maybe 2 control groups worth of ground forces, and half of the second control group was High Templars. So again, like losing the game before his macro even really kicks in. He's got to be pretty disappointed with that performance.
Yeah, looks like there are some Hyuk fans there. I'm pretty sure they just had those signs made, but I guess we did witness history here. I guess this is the first game I've ever seen Hyuk win. And I guess, you know, out of all the players right now, I know Hyuk is happy, and, you know, I'm not to say I don't like Cal, but, you know, I'm pretty indifferent on this match, so I guess I would say I'm happy to see an underdog Hyuk move on. But probably the happiest player at this point would be Luxury, because now his ticket out of this group is a ZVZ versus Hyuk into Game 5. So I really didn't expect any ZVZ. I assumed that Hyuk was going to get knocked out fairly early without getting a chance to play Luxury, but looks like Cal isn't getting a second chance. He's going home.
Yeah, Cal's predictability really not doing him a big favor there. I mean, you know, Hyuk did well to beat Cal. He played well, certainly. But, you know, he pretty much almost did exactly the same thing that Luxury did. It does seem like that's the build that was prepared for these maps against this sort of style. But Cal really just didn't make it very hard for him at all. So I think Luxury, definitely the heavy favorite in the next game. Luxury's got a pretty good ZVZ. And Hyuk, I mean, I'm just happy to see him win one game. As much as I like Cal and I'm a Cal fan, he did not deserve to get out of this group playing the way he was. So, you know, I'm happy to see Hyuk win his first game in my presence. Maybe he can follow it up with another. Who knows? I really doubt it, though. And I think that just about wraps it up for me. Any final thoughts?
Yeah, that being said, I guess leaves nothing else, but we're moving on to Game 5, Hyuk versus Luxury. So stay tuned for that epic end of the series.